Hello, Alison.
Hi Ron, how you going?
Good, thanks. Tell us a little bit about Rainbow House. How did that all start?
Well, it's called Our Rainbow House
Our
because I wanted to be everybody's orphanage, not just mine. In 2002 I went over to Africa to help work at a school in Tanzania, and one of our boys was sponsoring a child in Zambia, and I thought, while I'm in Africa, I'll go down and meet Brendan's sponsored child. And when I got down there, Felix was living with 30,000 other people on 5 hectares in a very crowded compound, and about 10% of these people are orphans or vulnerable children, and there's no orphanage or anywhere to house these children. And some of the African mothers take these children in and look after them to the best of their ability, but of course they've got no funds or money or food or anything to give these children either, because they have a hard time just giving it to looking after their own children. So I decided that I'd come home and start some work and try to become affiliated with a group over there and try to raise some money to build our own orphanage. I came home back to Australia and decided to try to do something to help these children, but with everything else in our lives we all get so busy and settle back down into life at home again, and it was very difficult to do something from afar. So I went back in 2005 and worked in a private orphanage over there, belonging to an African lady called Emily, who has since passed away. It was wonderful to work with Emily and to work with those children. And then I went back to the compound in Lusaka at Chayinda to see how the children were going. And of course it had got worse. There was a lot more children orphaned from HIV/AIDS. So once again I came home really unsettled and kept thinking about the compound. So just 12 months ago I decided time was up, that I'd try to form a committee and a group of local people and a group of my friends from afar, and try to build some funds to structure an orphanage in this area. So in 2009, in October, we had our first fundraiser and we raised about $3,000. So we've been firing away pretty well ever since, and we've raised a fair bit of money, around the $30,000, and we've had a lot of working bees and functions and things, and we've got a lovely committee. And so now we're at the stages of looking at some land, and I've just returned from Africa, and we're looking at obtaining some land at very little cost from the government over there, and hopefully our project will get off the ground very shortly. The group that we're affiliated with in Chayinda are called Tigwirazani Youth Vision, and they're a group of about 10 young people who also have, like us, they have a lot of members. I think they've got about 80 members in the district. Really awesome people, but they have absolutely no resources. And they are orphans that have grown up in that exact compound, and they were street kids.
So they really understand like what everyone's going through, is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. And they desperately want to make a difference. They don't want the children in the compound, the orphans in the compound or vulnerable children, to have the same problems as what they had when they were growing up. So I just think these people are awesome to do this with absolutely no resources. So our Rainbow House has given them a laptop computer, because there was no way they could ever afford to buy a computer, and it was even difficult for them to drive to hire a car to drive into town. None of them have a driver's license. They don't have any money. So it was very difficult for them to get into town. Then they would have to have the money to send us an email. So sometimes we'd wait 3 or 4 weeks just to get a reply to our email, which was very frustrating on our part, because I'd shoot off an email expecting something the next day, and then you'd have to wait 3 weeks. And when I got over there, I felt really embarrassed then, because, I didn't believe how bad things were. And we're also looking at buying them a motor vehicle, but they've all got to go and get a license first. We're looking at a little second-hand bus or something that they can get around in. So, because without these two things, without a laptop and without a vehicle, they've got no hope of running it. So, at the moment, they're looking at some land, about 30 acres for us. So we want enough to be able to build a little orphanage, volunteer quarters, a little manager's residence, and a little schoolroom, and maybe a clinic. Who knows? Down the way, I would like to do expansion, but we have to start off very small. And to be able to do this project, gosh, we need a lot of help, and we need a lot of skilled tradesmen, a lot of people who can volunteer their time to come over and help us get it going. That's the main thing. I've had so many offers of help to say, look, we'll help you, please put me on the list. And so I think once we can get hold of a bit more money and get some more members, I think we can really move mountains over there in Chayenda for these children, right?
Thank you, Al.